You thought things went so well. She was laughing, you paid for the drinks, you messaged her afterwards, and now let's talk about how you can avoid some common second date mistakes to keep that momentum going and nail that third date. So whilst getting a first date can sometimes feel like a monumental achievement to have got to that point, first dates are also relatively low stakes. They're about having fun and spending a really cursory amount of time with another person. However, after the second date, women are going to start to seriously consider whether they could imagine being physically intimate with you and forming a relationship. So whilst you may feel like you've got over the big hurdle to get onto date one, actually the stakes have slightly changed on date two, which is why you might be missing the mark. Whilst having a nice enough, pleasant coffee date may have been enough for her to think, well, there wasn't anything wrong here, so I should be open to giving it date two. To go from date two to date three, you're going to need to make more impact. Often if you're not dating that regularly or you don't meet that many women you like, when you do meet someone you like, you want to handle it really, really safely. This means you may have a tendency to play it too safe. Often playing it too safe, though, means you're not going to create a spark, there's not enough excitement, and she just thinks, this interaction has run out of steam and I can't really imagine myself going any further with this guy. Creating more impact isn't about putting on a false performance. Often it's about authentically communicating what you're actually thinking and feeling. If she turns up and she looks great, tell her she looks great. Tell her the reason on the first date why you were excited to meet her again. Tell her what you find interesting and curious about her. And if the moment's right, shoot for some physical contact, such as a kiss. If you never make a reach towards these more high intensity moments, the date can end up just feeling and there's no incentive for her to see you again. Often playing it too safe means that you also leave the date on a vibe of not sure what's going to happen next. Women will feel more excited by men who they feel are the right amount of interested in them. Not a guy who's creepy and overbearing, but a guy who is clear and purposeful that he would like to see her. Without that clarity and purposefulness from you, it's like we miss the catalyst for her to feel that way. If she walks away from the date going, I wonder if he even liked me, this is a critical error. She needs to see you making bold and purposeful forward moves to feel that excitement that you're a guy that she wants to see again. A simple way of achieving this is just to wrap up the date by saying, hey, I've actually really enjoyed spending time with you. Let's meet again next week, or let's go bouldering next week. End with a clear wrap up and plan, and she's going to receive your intent with more clarity. Women are sensitive creatures to men who are trying too hard. If you're trying to work in what college you went to or the fact that you own a house early on in the conversation without there being a natural opportunity to do so, it's going to come across like you're trying to shove your resume in front of her, and that actually screams a lack of self-confidence. In fact, a guy with a less glittering CV or less financial assets who's secure in himself and cool will often come across so much better. Remember, a date has to be a two-way process. It's not you performing and telling her all your best bits in the hope that she chooses you. It has to be a mutual two-way choosing. You also have to then actively demonstrate in the conversation stuff you're looking out for in her and things you would still like to learn about her. This shows that you are being discerning and it's not a yes from you yet. This is a really important part of creating attraction with women and not coming across too eager to please. Now, there's some funny dating advice videos out there on YouTube, and you may have heard some dodgy guys saying, look, the way to a woman's heart is you've got to hook up with her on your second date and you should have your second date at your apartment. Whoa. Most women will literally be allergic to this strategy. If they'll be like, what the hell, this guy, I barely know him. And instead of actually trying to do something high quality and fun with me, he's suggesting I go to his apartment. Yuck. Or, you know what, there's been no build up and already he's tried to have sex with me. Yuck, this is a big turn off. He's sexually inexperienced and desperate. Whilst I agree you shouldn't be presenting yourself as a friend and never ever making a move, likewise, you don't need to go, too far in the opposite direction and overcook this. Show that you're cool with taking your time and have an if and when mentality when it comes to sex. This is far less needy and far more attractive to the women you meet. Finally, another huge turn off for women is you seeming like you're not that bothered. And often, by the way, you are that bothered. It's just you're lacking confidence, so you kind of put the ball into her court. For example, instead of making a great plan for what date you could do together, you might say, oh, maybe we could catch up and do something on Tuesday night. What do you fancy doing? This kind of low effort, wishy-washy, lack of leadership approach to dates often will accidentally make you come across as disengaged and not that bothered. And as I said earlier, women want men who are purposeful and clear. So come at that date with a clear plan, and when you're on that date, keep your phone away, stay in the present moment, and show that real engagement and enthusiasm to be there. So look, not screwing up the second date isn't actually about being perfect, but it is probably about being more authentic. For example, a lot of these mistakes come from a false idea of either how you should be doing things to impress women, or by not feeling quite comfortable to be open about what your true intentions are. If you can show up for her in a way that is authentic, clearer, and more congruent with what you're actually thinking and feeling, your dates will go better. I really hope that this advice has helped you. If you've loved it and you want more free advice from me, click on the link below this video and of course subscribe to my channel.